Tonight in Y News, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed the Department of Energy and other agencies to expedite the enforcement of strategies to develop the electric vehicle industry. House Solons expressed concern over the release of a fake and manipulated audio recording of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. that incites military action against China. Chinese Coast Guard water cannons to Philippine ships en route to a maritime patrol near Bajo de Masinloc. And we will discover why Polish farmers have terminated their protest at the Rava-Ruska border crossing with Ukraine, marking the end of a prolonged standoff. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, the 30th of April, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed the Department of Energy, the Department of Transportation, and the Department of Trade and Industry to expedite the implementation of a plan or roadmap to strengthen the e-vehicle industry, especially in public transportation. Nelma Ribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed on Tuesday, April 30, the Department of Energy and other agencies to expedite the enforcement of its strategies to develop the electric vehicle industry. This is amid the application deadline for the consolidation of public utility vehicle operators and drivers. According to Energy Undersecretary Felix William Fuentebella, President Marcos wants the relevant development strategies to focus on the public transportation sector.
So, nandoon yung mga concerns na pinapatutukan ni Presidente sa amin. And not only the fleet, not only the financing, but it's also the infrastructure kung saan ilalagay yung mga electric vehicle charging stations.
The Philippines is still far from its target of 2.45 million EVs and around 65,000 EV charging stations by 2028.
So we told him that as of 2023, we only have 0.001% or 7,000 electric vehicles registered out of the 14,300,000 na figure of registered vehicles. So malayo pa tayo.
President Marcos said the government is studying the process of transitioning to electric vehicle, which will be made in compliance with the EV Industry Development Act to accelerate the development and utilization of EVs towards improving energy security and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Nelma Ribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The House of Representatives will study whether deepfakes can be considered a form of terrorism. This follows the release of a fake and manipulated audio recording of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Members of Congress expressed concern over the release of a fake and manipulated audio recording of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. that incites military action against China. According to Lanao del Norte 1st District Representative Muhammad Khalid Dimaporo, this incident amounts to sabotage against the president. He added that it also indicates the desperation of the opposition. Representative Dimaporo stated that he will look into whether deepfakes can be classified as a form of terrorism.
If there's a need to amend our laws and declare this type of behavior as a form of terrorism, well, then we will refer to our leader here in Congress.
This is also supported by fellow Congressman, House Assistant Majority Leader, Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Sia Alonto Adyong. He stated that this is a violation of Filipinos' right to accurate information.
Yung ganitong klaseng mga tao, not only sabotaging the president, but it disrespects each and every individual Filipino. Wala silang pakialam sa inyo. Ang gusto lang nila is masabi kung ano yung naratiba nila na mali.
Currently, authorities are investigating who is behind the said deepfake audio. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A lawmaker was convinced with the conduct of over 9 billion peso illegal drug haul in Alitagtag, Batangas last April 15. Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa made the remark after Philippine National Police or PNP Region 4A Chief Brigadier General Paul Kenneth Lucas said the drug haul was a result of a random checkpoint. However, he later on clarified that it was an intel-driven checkpoint. The suspect, Ala John Michael Zarate, was presented at the start of the hearing, but was requested by the regional director to instead speak during an executive session. Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG Secretary Benher Abalos, also maintains that no pilferage happened after its value went down from an estimated 13.3 billion pesos to 9.68 billion pesos.
Kasi yung ibang nag-isip na sinit up lang daw, gano'n. So, klaro, random checkpoint. Talagang the Lord is watching us. Sabi ni Lord, dapat mahuli ka, dapat ma-checkpoint ka.
The State Weather Bureau PAGASA has warned the public that days with high temperatures are ahead, with heat indices climbing to perilously high levels, persisting until the second week of May. Meanwhile, the Department of Health has recorded almost 700 cases of heat-related illnesses from January to April 29. Jed Neresina details why.
The State Weather Bureau PAGASA expects the onset of rains around the end of June, as noted by DOST PAGASA weather specialist John Manalo, who typically anticipates it to begin by the end of May. Consequently, he emphasized the importance of public preparedness for warmer temperatures and the continuous decrease in water levels in dams.
There's a chance na mas after pa no second half ng June yung maging onset ng rainy season natin. So, mahalaga na mag-prepare pa rin tayo dito sa mas mainit na temperature and lower water supply na maaaring natin makaharap.
It's crucial to recognize that the weather has been progressively getting hotter, surpassing previous heat records.
Mahalaga na malaman nila kasi I think everyone feels yung global boiling na yan dahil sa temperature na we keep on breaking the all-time highest temperature from since like 1900s. So binibreak natin ang binibreak. Ibig sabihin, nararamdaman natin na painit talaga ng painit.
Manalo stressed the need for concern and the adoption of simple measures to mitigate the ongoing environmental degradation contributing to the extreme heat that is being experienced recently.
Gusto nating i-emphasize yung global boiling dahil hey, you have to take action. Hindi lang global warming yung nag-exist. It's already global boiling. So we have to at least do something.
Furthermore, areas at risk of extreme heat index levels may expand.
Hindi natin ina-emphasize yung values ng heat index but rather yung category. So ina-expect natin na may possibility na madagdagan bukod sa iba Zambales yung maka-exceed ng 51 or yung tinatawag natin na extreme danger. Ito yung 52 degrees Celsius heat index and above.
Additionally, it is anticipated that temperatures will rise in various parts of the country in the coming month.
Recently, nakita po natin yung difference. Noong early April po, around 10 to 15 stations lang or areas lang sa Pilipinas yung nasa danger. And now, it's about 30, umabot na ng 40 stations or areas yung nasa danger level. So, na-expect natin na next month more likely. Maaaring kung hindi man madagdagan yung stations, ay yung magnitude ng heat index ay mas tataas.
Manalo explained that while El Nino is weakening, a decrease in the heat index is expected in some areas around June or July.
That doesn't mean na mawawala bigla yung effect ng El Nino. It might still persist sa May and June. So yung transition natin, siguro June, July, ay from El Nino to neutral and then La Nina, ay hindi agad.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health has recorded a staggering 677 cases of heat-related illnesses from January through April 29, 2024. According to data from the Event-Based Surveillance and Response Unit, these cases involve individuals aged 12 to 21. The Department of Health is urging the schools to avoid outdoor activities to ensure the safety of students. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Metro Cebu Water District has initiated water truck deliveries to the areas affected by the intermittent water supply in Cebu caused by the El Niño phenomenon. Gladys Tuabi details why.
Cities in Cebu are grappling with intermittent water supply attributed to the El Niño phenomenon. Talisay City, Cebu City, and Mandaue City are among the areas severely affected as reported by the Metro Cebu Water District. In a recent update, it was noted that plants along the center island in Mandaue City have begun to wilt due to the scorching heat.
That is because gilimit na lang namo ang paghatag og tubig. Potable man namong tubig, bisan gigamit sa firefighting, potable water na siya. So karon nga ang tao manggod ang nakinahanglan for inom, for luto, ingon ana. So ato la sa siyang i-prioritize.
Meanwhile, to mitigate the situation and aid affected residents, MCWD has launched scheduled water truck deliveries.
Aduna kami mga delivery, water truck delivery sa mga barangays nga grabe na gyud ang effect sa El Nino. Among gi-schedule na aduna mi diha sa Cebu City, aduna sa mi sa Mandaue ug sa Talisay. So among gi-post sa among Facebook page ang schedule sa delivery para mahimo sila nga makaatang for inquiries kung asa gyud nila makit-an ang amo ang water truck nga maghatod og tubig, pwede sila mo coordinate sa barangay.
Amidst the water deficit situation in Cebu, water conservation efforts are strongly encouraged among Cebuanos. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, the United States and Mexico have intended to crack down on illegal immigration along their shared border, while also aiming to tackle the issues that prompt people to migrate. Annie Mancillo will give us the details live. Yes, Annie, good evening.
Good evening, May. United States President Joe Biden and Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador announced on Monday, April 29, their plans to intensify efforts against illegal immigration along their shared border. This is due to the rising trend of irregular crossings, which have surged to unprecedented level in recent years. In a phone call on Sunday, April 28, the U.S. and Mexican president pledged that their administrations would implement measures to reduce illegal crossings. According to a joint statement, the two leaders committed to address the underlying economic and security issues driving the migration while upholding human rights. Moreover, the White House has considered using U.S. President Biden's executive authority to block migrants at border, and discussions are underway on granting temporary legal status and work permits to immigrants in the U.S. According to Mexican President Lopez Obrador, they will keep the country's border open to legal immigration while preventing irregular immigration. Meanwhile, the U.S. Border Patrol recorded a significant decrease in migrant crossing illegally, from monthly high of 250,000 migrants in December to 137,000 arrests in March. This decline was attributed partly to social programs supported by Mexico and to the increased enforcement efforts by the two countries. Back to you, Maeve.
Thank you, Annie Mancillo, live from Singapore. In a significant development marking the end of a prolonged standoff, Polish farmers have terminated their protests at the Rawa-Bruska border crossing with Ukraine. The blockade, which persisted for several months, protesting Ukraine's wartime border relaxations and joined by farmers discontented with cheap Ukrainian food imports, has strained bilateral relations and also disrupted Ukraine's trade flow. According to Andriy Demchenko, Ukraine's border guard spokesman, the blockade was lifted on Monday morning, April 29, following extensive diplomatic efforts by Kyiv. In a bid to address protester demands, Poland recently decided to allocate 2.1 billion zlotys or $520 million in subsidies to farmers to offset the impact of low grain prices. Meanwhile, Adrian Warzyniak, spokesperson for the Solidarity Farmers Union, disclosed ongoing negotiations with the government and announced plans for a protest in Warsaw on May 10 next week Friday. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Maeve. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, expects 82% consolidation rate by the end of franchise consolidation today. JP Nunez reports.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, reported that they already reached 79% of franchise consolidation of public utility vehicles across the country. But when the deadline ends today, the LTFRB expects 82% consolidation rate.
We are anticipating and we are expecting this to increase from 80 to about 82%. Case in point right now, ang dami pong nagpupunta ngayon sa mga LTFRB regional offices.
The agency is confident that this number is enough to pursue the modernization program. LTFRB Chairman Chofilo Guadis III said he is confident that there will be no transport crisis will happen after the deadline.
You have other modalities here. May bus ka, may train ka, may taxi ka, di ba? May tricycle ka. There are other modes of transportation that can cover these public utility jeeps that would now leave the street.
Meanwhile, the LTFRB said the apprehension for unconsolidated jeepneys will begin in 2 weeks. Tomorrow, unconsolidated jeepneys will not be apprehended, but operators will be given show cause order to explain their side why they did not join cooperatives. However, even if their minds shift and decided to join consolidation after the deadline, they will not be given a chance. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A total of 20,000 automated counting machines, or ACMs, of Miru Company from South Korea are expected to arrive in the country in the last part of June this year. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, said the machines would be used for demo, or voter education, which will be led by its information technology personnel and election officers. Meanwhile, teachers who will be serving in the 2025 elections will undergo training in January 2025 on how to use the machines.
By November 30, yan po yung ating field test. Gusto na naming masubject yung mga makina sa field test. By December, first week or third week of December, makapag-roll out na tayo, yung roadshow na tinatawag natin.
110,000 machines will be delivered by Miru for the midterm polls. Luzon is placed under a yellow alert status due to a thinning electricity supply. According to the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, the yellow alert was initiated in Luzon starting at 2 p.m. and is expected to persist until 11 p.m. tonight. Several power plants have enforced forced outages, while others are operating at derated or reduced capacity. Meanwhile, the yellow alert status has been lifted in the Visayas grid as of 1 p.m. This alert status has been lifted caused by the increased capacity shared by Mindanao to Visayas. 100 ex-combatants of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, and the Moro National Liberation Front, or MNLF, have officially joined the ranks of the Philippine National Police after successfully passing the screening and completing the PNP training. These individuals completed their training yesterday at the Police Regional Office, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, attended even by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Out of the 100 graduates, 50 are members of the MNLF, and 50 are from the MILF, with 92 males and 8 females among them. Unfortunately, 2 individuals were not successful. One resigned while another failed the medical examination. According to Police Colonel Jean Fajardo, chief of the PNP Public Information Office, these new police officers will undergo the field training program. Once they complete this program, they will undergo further training. The PNP assures the public that there is no cause for concern regarding the integration of former government adversaries into the police force. They have confirmed that all recruits have no criminal records.
Sila po ay da-download sa mga police stations po natin at magkakaroon po sila ng actual experience at magiging observers po sila sa patrol pace po nila, traffic at saka investigation po. So may expose po sila dyan sa actual duties and functions po ng ating mga kapulisan para once matapos po yung kanilang field training program ay babalik po sila doon sa training units po nila para po doon sa assessment. Naiintindihan po natin na dati nandun sila sa kabilang bakod na nakikipaglaban po sa gobyerno. Itong 100 po na nakatapos po ng basic recruitment training po nila ay umaasa po tayo na niyakap nila itong pagbabago sa kanilang buhay. Inaasahan din natin sila rin yung magsisilbing ehemplo ng mga kapwa po nila, mga dating nasa kabilang panig po ng pakikipaglaban sa gobyerno.
And in other global news, U.S. organizations show their support for students standing in solidarity for Palestine, going against the United States' support for Israel. Olga Chalyan tells us why.
Students have been protesting the war on Gaza on United States university campuses, camping on school grounds to call on universities to disclose their investments and cut off firms associated with Israel. Despite attempts of administration and law enforcement to suppress it, the university students have been backed by U.S. advocacy organizations who in a joint statement commended their actions. The organization statement acknowledged the students who are practicing their rights to protest, raising awareness regarding the United States funding for Israel's assault on Gaza. Students setting up camp at universities have been making headlines in the US and internationally. Students across the world have also followed the movement, starting similar protests as momentum gained in April. Meanwhile, with students risking everything right now, the advocacy organizations have stated that it was critical to do everything to support them. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News to Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Scientists have observed promising results in the use of microneedle patch technology against measles, particularly through a trial conducted in the Gambia, a country in West Africa. This method provides a safe and effective way to protect children against measles. By using microarray patch sticks, which are attached to the arm and contain microscopic needles, the vaccine can be administered through the skin without pain. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccination levels have declined in many low and middle-income countries, leaving millions of children vulnerable to various diseases. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Mavian Dog, live from Australia. Good evening.
Earlier this morning, April 30, Chinese Coast Guard has water cannoned 2 Philippine ships en route to a maritime patrol near Bajo de Masinloc. According to Commodore J. Tariela, the Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, the Philippine vessels encountered dangerous maneuvers and were blocked by 4 Chinese Coast Guard and 6 maritime militia vessels. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BIFAR vessel, BRP Dato Bangkao, was the first to be water cannoned at around 9:53 a.m., hitting its starboard astern. Then, when the PCG vessel was approximately 1,000 yards away from the Bajo de Masinloc, it became the next target of the water cannon, causing damage to the ship's railing and canopy. Additionally, China deployed a floating barrier along the entire route leading to the shoal. Despite this aggression, the BIFAR and PCG vessels continued their maritime patrol without backing down. A pharmaceutical firm accused of unethical medical practices admits giving some incentives to partner doctors for prescribing their brand of medicines to patients. In a Senate hearing, Belcan's Pharma Incorporated chairperson and CEO Dr. Luis Raymond Go admits giving trips abroad for doctors to include their brand in generic prescriptions as well as medical equipment. However, he denies giving luxury cars and commissions in the form of cash, as alleged by several senators. The company also belies claims that they are engaged in a multi-level marketing scheme.
We are giving incentives and, shall I say, support to our doctors who, for them to include us as a brand for their generic prescriptions. We give them continuing medical educations locally and abroad, and sometimes we also provide them with clinic equipments. Nagbigay kami ng watches sa Rolex. No, not Rolex.
Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa says he has ordered an investigation over the matter. The health chief notes that if the allegations are proven true, the involved medical professionals may face charges.
Kahit ethical po, pwede kong iakyat yan sa Board of Medicine for revocation of license, suspension of license. Pwede ko rin iakyat kung sa ospital namin, DOH Hospital, pwede kong iakyat sa Ombudsman for cases against these public officials po.
Senator Christopher Bongo, chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, is eyeing crafting a law that will prohibit doctors to refer to entities that they have financial relationships. Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 6, it says, "The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity." And those are the reasons behind the news, April 30, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Harleen Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.